What's up, guys? In this video we're going to see if we can mix match a 12-speed Shimano cassette and chain with a SRAM AXS 12-speed group. Here we have it. This is on one of our custom titanium frames here, the Blackwater 3-notch, and we have actually paired a SRAM system. So we got the SRAM Force. This is a 36 tooth clearance, so it's designed for their wide setup, which is a 1036 cassette. We have also paired it up with a wide front derailleur, which sits out about 2.5 millimeter wider than a normal front derailleur to allow for larger clearance for the tires. And then up front, this is not a Shimano chainring, but it is a Rotor chainring, which is compatible with the Shimano chain. And this is a 5236, the semi-compact chain set there. And so the reason why we've done this is if you look at the gearing of some of the SRAM, they go down to a 10 tooth. And so they do a 10 tooth, and then their front chain rings have some interesting jumps. They've essentially reduced the range of their front chain rings. For example, their fast chain ring up front is a 50-37. So normally on the previous versions you had a 50-34. Their argument obviously is they say, hey, we have the 10 tooth with a 50 tooth up front is like running like a 54 tooth up front, something of that nature. But it does limit your range on the front. If you're running a 50, 37, you don't have the range of a 50-34. So the front chainring, that's one of the big downsides of the SRAM group. As far as the rear cassette on the SRAM works great. You do have that 10 tooth, which is known to be not as efficient as an 11 tooth as your small chainring. So if you're getting into watts and you're worried about efficiency, the Shimano cassette is going to be more efficient because of that. Another thing too is the Shimano chain, according to Zero Friction Cycling, is definitely faster than the flat top chain. Now the flat top chains are really good at lasting a really long time, as far as wear and tear, but the Shimano chain is faster as far as race pace goes. So for a race setup, this is going to be a more efficient setup. The reason why, once again, you have a larger chain ring, and the larger your chain ring, you see it before on the cogs here, on some of those systems like Ceramic Speed. The reason why is because as your chain rotates and it moves, all right, that causes friction. So the more kinking or closing you have of your chain, the more wattage you're losing. That's another kind of strike against SRAM with their group set, is that obviously with the 10 tooth it's going to be wrapping more than the 11 tooth. And then up front with their front chain ring, with a 50-37, a 50 is going to have more chain wrap than a 54, so to speak. So what we've done here, we have paired, we love the SRAM system as far as the wireless, super easy to work on. Just throw it on, you're good to go to do some adjustments. So we really like the wireless system here, but we wanted the Shimano shifting, or the Shimano cassette. Now the Shimano cassette is a little different than the SRAM cassette. It's just a little bit wider, just barely. I mean, probably 0.5 millimeter or something like that. So the teeth are not exactly lined up perfectly. If you're shifting through the gears and going to the wide range of the cassette, so your shifting may not be perfect, but it's really, really close. The one question mark is always the front derailleur. SRAM has been known to not have the greatest front derailleur shifting. So going up front here, with the jump going from a 52 tooth to a 36 tooth, that's a decent bit bigger than, say, the 50 to a 37. So this is really where I was kind of concerned. I didn't know if it was actually going to work or not. But we took it out, we used it, and it's worked flawless. Now, as with all of SRAM's front derailleurs, it took some finagling, I guess you could say. Basically just followed the SRAM setup settings for their regular group sets and everything. Yeah, let's shift through some gears and see actually how it performs on the stand. Obviously on the stand is different than using it out in the wild, but we're gonna, just for demonstration purposes, do it in the stand here. I can confirm that this setup does work in the wild. The rear cassette on here is a 1134, so which is not as much range as, say, the SRAM 36 tooth in the back. but we do get our range in the front, which is going to be a little bit more efficient. So we're going to start off just pedaling through here. I'm going to stay on the non-drive side so you can see everything. And we're going to shift down to the smallest cogs here. As you see, all the shifts were smooth and quick. Then we're going to shift up. And I'm not going super fast, but you can see one of those gears there, I want to go back down to that, was a little delayed in getting up. And that's what I'm talking about as far as like, yeah, right there. It still shifts great though. I mean, it's really, you don't really notice it. As you see here, most every single shift is perfect in the right gear, right there. All right, so as you can see there, it shifts through all the gears. Obviously this cage is extreme at this point. You can see, once again, the reason why this is such an extreme angle here, because once again, this range up front, we had to make it where if we did shift down to the 36 tooth, it wouldn't be as extreme. So, or it would actually clear. And I'll go through and shift the front here shortly. But as you can see, it shifts through all the cogs extremely well. So you get that, SRAM shifting with the cassette, the efficient gear range, all that stuff, gear ratios with the SRAM system. And you don't have to have a different free hub body as well. If you already have the HG system, you can use that. Now let's go ahead and shift the front. The front's a little more difficult with SRAM because you got to use both hands to do the shifting, and then you have to then pedal. So we shift down, goes down to the small cog there, and I'll shift through all the gears here. I'll go down to the smallest one so you can see. Okay, and as you know with SRAM, they don't allow you to go to the smallest cog. So small cog, you cannot go to. So that's limited. But you can see our cage, once again, at this point is at the extreme. So as you can see when we were on the big ring before, how far the cage was coming down. If we were to loosen this up a little bit, it'd be too loose and we'd have, too much chain there. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and go through the gears with the small cog so you can kind of see how it's shifting. All right, and there it went through the gears all nice and smooth. I have had zero, skips or jumps or anything of that nature while riding this bike. All right, we'll go back up to the middle. All right, and then we're going to shift again the front to go to the big ring. This is usually where you have issues with SRAM, is trying to go back up to the big ring. So you see there, shift up to the big ring, no problems whatsoever. And also, sometimes you can get the big ring to shift in the stand, but when you go out in the wild, it will not shift. So we'll go ahead and do it again. Go back down to the small ring up front, shifts perfect. We're going to do it again back up, and it shifts perfect. Now, if you run, like this is a rotor system here, if you're running an oval chainring up front, you won't be able to use this system. That's too much of a jump. I actually tried it myself. I could get it to shift down to the small chainring up front, but then when I try to shift up to the front, the larger chainring up front, it would not shift. And I'll show you an image of the set I tried to use before. So that's it right there. As you can see, oval chainring. And so this will not work with this system. So, okay, so obviously this system is not going to be supported by SRAM or Shimano, but I do want to make a few notes here. If you are going to try this system, I know some people will try it because, let's say your trainer has an HG free hub and you don't have to buy an XDR free hub. Do not mix match your chains, okay? So the Shimano chain and the SRAM chain are much different. The flat top chain, the rollers inside of here are larger. So if you try to run a flat top chain with larger rollers, it could skip on the teeth. So do not do that. Also, I would not use a Shimano chain with a flat top front chainring, because once again, you're going to wear your chain out a lot quicker, because these little gaps, little dips here on the flat top chainring is a little bit larger for those larger rollers. So you may have excessive chain wear if you try to use the Shimano chain with the SRAM flat top front chainring. So that's something I wouldn't mix up if I were you. Use a Shimano cassette with a Shimano chain and a Shimano compatible front chainring. So just to recap my review of this system, it actually works really well. I've used this probably for about 6-7 months now. I even used it in a 100-mile gravel race with creek crossings, mud, sand, everything, and it worked flawless. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button. That helps get this video out to other people on YouTube. Also, subscribe to the channel. That helps us out here